Good morning, students. I am Mamta Panigrahi and I will be taking science. Students, you all have seen your school bags, right? The school bags have white straps. Have you ever noticed why do the school bags have white straps? Have you ever thought of it? The reason for this is the school bags are very heavy, okay, and you must be keeping all your stuff, notebooks, textbooks, tiffin, and that is why the school bags become very heavy. And when the school bags having white straps, this the weight of the bag may, because of the white straps or broad straps, the weight of the bag may fall over a large area of the shoulder, resulting less pressure on the shoulder. Because of this less pressure, what happens? Because of the less pressure, it is quite comfortable for you to carry the school bag easily. Okay, so in our daily life also, students, we all experience impact of pressure. So let us study in detail more about pressure in our chapter force and pressure. Students, previous lecture we have done with a force.
Miss, page number.
We have done with our force part. So let us quickly revise the force part and start with our new part, that is pressure. So all of you just listen to me. I will revise the previous part. Okay, students, last lecture we have done force part. Yes, and in that we studied what is force. Okay, what is force? Force is a push or pull acting on the object that changes or tends to change the state of an object. Then force has two types: force, contact force and non-contact force. When the bodies are in contact with each other, they are called contact force, and when the bodies are not in contact with each other, they were called as non-contact force. Students, you remember any two examples of two types of contact force? Two types of contact force. See this picture. Two types of contact force are muscular force and frictional force. Okay. Now what is non-contact force, or give any two examples of non-contact force?
Electrostatic force.
Very
Magnet.
good. Okay.
Magnetic.
Magnetic force.
Electrostatic.
Yes. See, gravitational force, magnetic force, and electrostatic force.
Static force.
Some of the types of non-contact force. Very good, students. Then we did balanced and unbalanced force. Okay. Now what is balanced force is, in balanced force, the object do not cause a change in motion. There is no change in motion. Whereas in unbalanced forces are the forces that cause a change in the motion of the object. Anyone remembers one example of balanced and unbalanced force? Yes, any one of you? Give me one example of balanced and unbalanced force. See this one. Remember, tug of war is that example of balanced and unbalanced force. Another example is this seesaw. Okay, so this was what we had done in our previous lecture. That is students, all about the force. Okay, so now in this session, I will be explaining about pressure in the chapter force and pressure. So I want all of you to very concentrately listen to my lecture and understand what I am saying about pressure. Okay. So we are going to study pressure. To understand this term, students, we need to look at some of the examples. Now see, what you can see, students, here. You see a tire, okay, and digital meter reading. Okay, so students, you must have observed the tires of two-wheelers and four-wheelers getting pressurized. Yes? Okay. Now the air filling machine here has a pressure indicating dial or a digital meter showing digital reading of pressure. The machine fills the pressure to a certain value. And so in this way, the air gets pressurized in the tire. Now look at this picture and tell me. I know all of you must be knowing this. This is the hand pump, bicycle hand pump. Okay. And but what you have to do? What the boy is doing here? He is filling air in the bicycle. And this hand pump is used for filling air in the bicycle tire. So what you have to do is you have to apply force. You have to apply force for filling air in the bicycle tire with the help of this hand pump. Now by applying force with the hand pump, the pressure increases and then the air is pushed into the okay, and in this way the tire gets filled with air. So students, from this what you say, are force and pressure related? Yes students, force and pressure related?
No.
Yes, they are related. Now we will solve this doubt with some examples. Now see students, what is this in this first picture? What do you see in the first picture? There is a hammer. Can you see a hammer? Yes, this is a hammer and this is a nail. Okay, and in this first picture you will see the nail is pointed towards the wooden plank and the pointed end is towards the wooden plank, and what is on the top? The head of the nail. Okay, and in this picture you will see vice versa, that is opposite. Here the head of the nail is towards the wooden plank and top is the pointed end. So what do you feel? What do you say? Which one will penetrate easily? Yes?
First picture.
First picture.
First one.
Because why? Because the pointed end is towards the wooden plank. So when you hammer on the head of the nail easily penetrates into the wood from its pointed end. Okay students, so in this case it is not easy because here the flat head of the surface is towards the wooden plank, and when you hammer it is not easy that the nail penetrates into the wooden plank. Okay, so from this you will notice that when a force is applied on the head of the nail, it is easy to hammer it into the plank. Okay, head of the nail, it is easy to hammer into the plank. Now let's clear that phrase with another example. Take the example of the knife. You all have seen your mom using knife? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Students, it's not safe for you all to use. Okay, but we will clear this concept. Now see, can you see this man cutting the vegetable with the knife? Yes. Okay. Now,
Yes.
now the sharp knives. We always use the sharp knife to cut vegetables. Why this is so, students? And sharp knife cuts the object very perfectly and better. Why? Because the sharp knives has a very thin edge. See here, this is the edge. It's very thin. Okay? The sharp knife has a very thin edge, and due to its very thin edge, the force of our hand falls on a very small area of the object using large pressure. Okay, so due to this thin edge, what happens? The force of our hand falls on a very small area of the object using large pressure, and this large pressure cuts the vegetables easily. Okay, so that is why we use sharp knives cut vegetables very easily. Okay, whereas see in this case, blunt one. So blunt knife do not cut the vegetables properly. Why? Because see the edge of the knife, see this edge, it is very thick. A blunt knife has a thicker edge, and due to its thickness, thicker edge, the force of our hand falls over a large area of the object. Are you getting me, students? Because of the thicker edge the force of our hand falls over a large area of the object and produces less pressure. Okay, and because of this less pressure, it cuts the vegetables with difficulty. And so we always use sharp knives to cut vegetables. Understood, students? All of you
Yes.
understood? Okay. So from this example, it is clear that the force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called pressure. Okay. So what is pressure? The force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called pressure. This is the definition for pressure. Now we have a formula for pressure, that is pressure is equal to force upon area on which force is applied. What is the formula for pressure? What is the formula for pressure, students? Pressure is equal to
Pressure is equal to force
To
upon
area
area.
on which force is applied.
Okay, very good. So pressure is equal to force upon area on which force is applied. Now let's see units of force. What are the units of force? Now students, in the previous chapter we have units of pressure. Sorry, in the previous chapter I have told you unit of force is Newton. Okay, and SI unit of area is meter square. So what will be our pressure unit? See the pressure formula. Just see the pressure formula. Formula for pressure is equal to force upon area on which force is applied. Force is what? The unit of force is Newton, that is N. Okay, and area is meter square. Okay, so pressure is equal to N upon meter square. So what is the unit, SI unit of pressure? Pressure is equal to N upon meter square, which is also known as Pascal. Okay. In atmospheric science, pressure, the unit of pressure is bar, and 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. And pressure comes under scalar quantity. You know, we have two quantities, scalar and vector, and so pressure comes under scalar quantity. Understood all of you students? Yes?
Yes.
Here?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So
I understood.
Understood.
important line, very important line. If which is related to the pressure, that is, if area increases, pressure reduces for the same force, and if the area decreases, the pressure increases for the same force. Now, what do you mean by this sentence? If area increases, pressure reduces for the same force. Force same है, but अगर if area increases, pressure reduces, and if area decreases, pressure increases. Okay. Now this line can be very well explained with the example of the knife. What we did. Knife example is the very best example. Now just see. Okay. See this one. The sentence was if area increases. If area increases, see this one, the knife. If area increases, the knife's area, if it area increases, so the pressure will decrease. Understood, students? Now, if area decreases, if the knife's area edge decreases, then the pressure increases. Maybe with the same force, there is difference. So you understood this line?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Area. Okay, listen. Area increases, pressure reduces for the same force. And if the area decreases, the pressure increases for the same force. Okay, now I have one more example to make you understand. See this. What is this?
Camel. Camel.
Okay, we all have
It's camel.
ML.
Okay, camel are always found, mostly they are found in desert region, right?
Yes.
Now see this one, this picture. This is the camel's feet. How they are? Can you see the picture? How they are? They are very broad. Yes, they are very broad, wide. Due to the natural adaptation, the bottom surface of camel's feet are broad, very broad. Okay. Hence, camel's weight, now see, camel's weight is exerted on a large area and the pressure on the sand is reduced. Okay, understood? The pressure on the sand is reduced because of the broadness of the feet. That is why camel's feet do not penetrate into the sand. Are you getting me, all of you students? The camel's feet penetrate into the sand and it becomes easy to walk. Okay, so because of this broadness, camel's feet do not penetrate and it is easy for the camel to walk in the desert region. Okay, so this is another example which tells us that if area increases, pressure reduces, and if the area decreases, the pressure increases for the same force. It is clear, all of you students? This much? All of you understood?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
miss.
no need to raise hand and show me you all understood. Very good. Okay. Now next, we'll move to the next topic, that is pressure on solids. Students, air pressure is created on all objects kept in air. Okay. When a weight is kept on a solid, pressure is exerted on it. This pressure depends on the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. Now, did you understood this? The pressure depends upon the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. Now to make this line clear to you, I will show you one picture. It will become clear, all of you. Now see this picture. This is a picture of it's a dabbawala man carrying tiffin. Okay, he is having a heavy load on his head. Okay, now here also there is a picture of a lady who is carrying a pot full of water. Okay, students. So, but you can notice something else also, that between the weight and the head, there is something kept in between. That is a piece of cloth. A piece of cloth twisted and made roll and kept in between the head and the weight. Now what happens because of this? What happens because of this twisted? Now see, here it is clearly, here it is not clear, but in this picture, can you see the lady carrying that twisted cloth, keeping twisted cloth on her head? Yes. So what happens after keeping this?
Yes. Teacher, इसे लगता नहीं है.
By placing a twisted piece of cloth on their head, that increases the area of contact of the basket, or this weight area of contact of the basket or the pot with the head. Understood, all of you? It increases the area of contact of the basket
Yes.
with the head. And since the load now falls on a larger area, the pressure reduces. The pressure on head is reduced and becomes easier for them to carry this heavy load. Okay, clear, all of you? So this is clear to you? When a weight
Yes.
is on a solid, pressure is exerted on it, and this pressure depends on the value of the weight and the contact area between the two. So pressure on solid is clear, all of you? Yes. Now we'll move to the next one, pressure of liquid. Pressure of liquid. To understand this, we'll perform one activity. Okay, students? See this. Here you can see a water bottle. Yes. And what the bottle is filled with water. Okay, and you need one pin, sharp pin also, to make hole. And you need to do 3 holes, 1, 2 and 3, as shown in this diagram. Okay, students? Yes. Okay, now see, so you have to make hole 1, 2, 3 and fill the water to the top. Okay, students. Now what you have to observe now? Now holes are already there, water is inside the bottle. So what you have to do? You have to observe the flow of water. You have to observe the flow of water from bottle number 1, sorry, hole number 1 and 2 and 3. Now you have to note down from which hole the water flow went farthest. Yes? Can you tell me?
Third hole.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. Now see in this slide, from the first hole the water falls down close to the bottle. Okay, in the second hole, from the second hole the water falls down little far from the bottle, but from the third hole the water falls to the farthest. That means the water from the lowest hole falls farthest from the bottle. See here in this picture you can see from the third hole the water falls farthest from the bottle. It means pressure increases as the depth of the liquid increases. Okay, now Now let us see gas pressure. What is gas pressure? Now again I will explain this with the help of an activity, okay, which will make you understand clearly. Now see, this is a balloon, okay, and it is an inflated balloon. If a balloon is inflated by air, if a balloon is inflated by filling air by mouth, it inflates on all sides, okay. And if a pinhole is created in the balloon, see here, if a pinhole is created in the balloon, air leaks out and the balloon does not inflate fully. Understood what I'm saying? If you pinhole the balloon, what will happen? The air will come out of the balloon and it will not inflate fully. So it is realized that like a liquid, gas also exerts pressure on the wall of the container in which it is enclosed. Understood, students? So it is that the gas also exerts pressure on the wall of the container in which it is enclosed. Understood, students, all of you?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
very good. Now,
Yes, miss.
yes, very good. Liquids and gases are called fluids.
Yes.
This is one of the property of fluid, that it takes the shape of the container and it spreads in all the space it got. So liquids and gases are called as fluids. Okay. So now let's go to the next topic, that is atmospheric pressure. Okay. So atmospheric pressure. Now look at this picture, all of you. Okay. First we'll read something, that is, as we know, liquids and gases are fluids. When we are inside swimming pool, we are surrounded by water and feel pressure by it, which is fluid. Are you getting me? When you are inside the water in the swimming pool, you are surrounded by water and feel pressure of water. Okay. And so when you are out of the water, now tell me, anything else you are surrounded by some out of the water? Yes, that is air. Okay, you are also surrounded by air. We are, as I said, we are surrounded by air. Okay, so we are in a pool of gases. The swimming pool was an example of water. When you are inside the water, in the swimming pool, you are having pressure of water. But now outside, we have to say that we are in a pool of gas around us. Okay, and it pressurizes us. Are you getting me? Air surrounds Earth from all sides. This layer is called atmosphere. Okay, students. Now this atmosphere exists to about 16 kilometer height. It further extends up to about 400 kilometer in a very dilute form. The pressure created due to the air is called atmospheric pressure. Understood, student? What is atmospheric pressure? The pressure created due to air. The pressure created due to air is called atmospheric pressure. Okay, students?
Yeah.
What is atmospheric pressure?
Yes, miss.
What is atmospheric pressure? What is atmospheric pressure? The pressure created due to air is called atmospheric pressure. Okay, now as I said here that we are in a pool of gases around us. Okay, and it pressurizes us. That means gases and air are constantly pressurizes us. Okay, so students, we constantly bear the atmospheric pressure on our heads. Okay, atmospheric pressure constantly bearing, it is on our head. So why don't we get crushed by it? As I said, we are constantly bearing the atmospheric pressure on our head. So why don't we get crushed by it, by the atmospheric pressure? Because see, the cavities in this picture, I have shown you the cavities. This is a human body. The cavities in our body are filled with air and they exert pressure outside. Understood? Similarly, the arteries and veins are filled with blood. The arteries and veins are filled with blood and they also exert pressure outside. Understood? So what happens now? Because of this pressure, both the pressure gets balanced. And so that is why we don't get crushed by it. Understood, students? Because the arteries and veins exerts pressure outside, plus our cavities, they also exerts pressure outside, and that is why the pressure is balanced and we don't get crushed by it. I hope all of you understood this much. Yes?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now we will move to our very important topic, that is buoyant force. The upward force acting on the object, in water or other fluid or gas is called buoyant force. Now this definition, we will clear it or will understand with some of the examples so that you will understand what is this buoyant force. The upward force acting on the object in water or other fluid or gas called buoyant force. Now let us see what is this. This, you can see a empty bottle floating on the surface of the water. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
This is
miss.
an empty bottle floating on the surface of the water. Now students, why this bottle is floating? Because the weight of the empty bottle is very less. Okay, and when you try to force it to drawn into the water, it will again come out and float in the surface of water. So tell me, what do you think if the bottle is filled and you put it into the water, what will happen? It will float. It will float. Now see,
No,
No,
miss.
miss.
listen.
No.
This is the
No, miss.
bottle filled with water. Okay, and it is inside the water now. So this bottle, it is not empty now. So it is filled bottle with water. So it will sink in water? No. Actually, the filled bottle will not sink in the water, nor it will float on the bottom surface of the water. Actually, it will float inside the water. Understood, students? It will flow.
Yes.
It will flow inside the water, and this is due to the buoyant surface. This is due to the buoyant surface acting on the bottle, and that is why it will flow inside the water and not sink down. Okay, now see, this is, you understood this concept, buoyant force? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
miss.
Now this is very amazing. Now see,
Yes,
this is such a big ship floating on the surface of water, and this here small pin I have shown, or you can say a nail. So you can see that this ship floats in the water, whereas this nail drowns down or sinks in the water. Yes, an iron nail dips in water, but massive steel ship float on it. This is because that is wide and force per unit area is distributed as buoyant force act on it. Okay, so the weight of the object is reduced, and that is why the ship floats on water and the tail sinks in the water. Understood, students? All of you? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, miss.
It is clear to you, all of you? Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Students?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, it is easier to, it is very easier to swim in seawater than in fresh water. You know the reason why? This is because of the density of seawater is higher than the density of the fresh water. Okay, due to the salts dissolved in the seawater. Okay, so it is very easier to swim in seawater than in
मिस
fresh
आप क्या वार्ता
water.
करते हो?
You know, students, you have heard about Dead Sea?
Yes.
Dead Sea? Yes, it
Yes.
is
Yes.
salt. In that, it is very salty water.
Yes,
Dead Sea
miss.
is having very salty water. So because of this, what happens? You can swim in it without learning swimming. You know why? You will never drown in Dead Sea because of the salt content more in Dead Sea. Okay, students? So
Yes.
I hope all of you understood till here this much. Yes?
Yes, yes, miss. Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Now we'll understand
Yes,
now
miss.
a very important topic,
Yes,
that is Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle states that when a body is Archimedes principle states that when a body is partially or completely immersed in a liquid fluid, it experiences an apparent loss in weight that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by immersed part of the body. It states that when a body is partially or completely immersed in a fluid, it experiences an apparent loss of weight. Are you getting me? When you dip something into the water, it experiences loss of weight that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the immersed part of the body. Let's get clear this. We will clear this with this experiment. Okay? All of you pay attention. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now this is a beaker. Yes, students.
मैं
And
तो अभी तक क्लास है.
you have to dip one finger. You will see that the water rises little, and when you dip these two fingers into the beaker, you will see that water rises little more. Okay, and if you put when you put your hand up to the wrist, you will see there is a significantly increase in the water. The water level increases significantly. Okay, now the ancient scientist Archimedes observed the same thing. He observed the same thing when he went inside the water. He realized that the level of water okay, Archimedes realized that level of water went up and it comes down. The water, some of the water flows down. Now here also same thing, when you lower your hand inside the beaker, the water level increases. Okay, so in both the cases, In both the cases, water is displaced by the object that goes in. Okay, understood students? In both the cases of Archimedes and this beaker case, in both the cases, the water is displaced by the object that goes in. Now see here, when an object is placed in a fluid, the fluid exerts a buoyant force on the object which acts upward. Okay, understood? A buoyant force acts on the object which the buoyant force exerts a buoyant force on the object which acts upward. So Archimedes' principle, the buoyant force applied by the fluid is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. Now we will understand this again with a simple experiment. Now first of all, see what does the buoyant force, the Archimedes principle states. It states that the buoyant force applied by the fluid is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. Okay, now we'll do a small experiment. You will understand what is the Archimedes principle. Now see, take a 5 kg solid object and measure it with spring balance. It measures 5 kg. Okay, take a 5 kg solid object and with a spring balance which weighs 5 kg. Now take the beaker of water which has small opening. The water in beaker, yes, this is a small opening. The water in beaker is filled right up to the point where opening is. Okay, and you have to keep a small container under the opening. Now slowly you have to lower the object, that 5 kg object you have to lower inside the beaker. Is that clear, student, this much? So what you will notice, that you will see the reading.
Yes,
The
miss.
reading of this object becomes less, low in number. That means the weight becomes less compared to the previous one. Okay, so the weight of the object becomes less as compared to the previous one. Now why this happens, students? Why is that? Because of the buoyant force. See, buoyant force acting on the object. You have also noticed that some water, see here, some water is also collected in this small container. Is that clear? Okay, so some water was also displaced. So we can say that the weight of the displaced water, this weight of the displaced waters is equal to the buoyant force acting on the object. Understood, all of you students? The weight of this displaced water is equal to the buoyant force acting on the object. So when an object is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, the upward force applied by the fluid on the object is same as the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. This is Archimedes' principle. So, is it clear, the principle? So, in simple words, Archimedes states that when a body is partially or completely immersed in a fluid, it experiences an apparent loss of weight, and that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body, by the immersed part of the body. So this is Archimedes' principle. With this, students, we end our lesson. Okay, now quickly I will recap what we have done, and then I will give you some homework questions to you. Okay, students. So we have started with pressure, and to understand this pressure, we have seen some examples of tire and also tire 1, and to relate force and pressure, we saw this example of nail and the hammer. Okay, and this knife, sharp knife and blunt knife, and then we concluded the definition of pressure, that is the force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called pressure, and the formula for pressure is force upon area on which force is applied. Then students, we understood the units of pressure. Yes, unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, which is also known as Pascal. Okay, and this is a very important line related to pressure. That is, if area increases, pressure reduces for the same force, and if the area decreases, the pressure increases for the same force. And this was explained with the help of camel's feet. Yes, students. And then we studied what is pressure on solids. See, then pressure of liquid. Yes, with this bottle activity. Right, students?
Yes.
Okay. Then
Yes.
pressure,
Yes,
gas pressure, and atmospheric pressure. Yes, atmospheric pressure. And we studied what is atmospheric pressure. The pressure created by the air is called atmospheric pressure, and we do not get crushed by the atmospheric pressure because our cavities in our body are filled with air, and arteries and veins are filled with blood, and they exert pressure outside. Hence pressure is balanced and we do not get crushed by the atmospheric pressure. Then we did buoyant force, that is the upward force acting on the object in water or other fluid or gas, called buoyant force. Okay, students. Then the next is the sea water, easy to float in swim in sea water because of the salt content. Yes. And then the last topic was Archimedes principle, which is very important and which states that when a body is partially or completely immersed in a fluid, it experiences an apparent loss weight that is equal to the weight of the fluid by the displaced by the immersed part of the body. I hope all of you understood, student. Yes, it is clear. The
Yes,
pressure.
miss.
Okay. Okay, very good, very good.
Yes, miss.
Just write it down, all this
Yes,
homework
miss.
question, and keep ready. Next class, I will ask you. The homework questions are: explain fruits can be easily cut with a sharp knife. Yes. What is pressure? Write the formula for pressure. Write the units of force and pressure. What is buoyant force? Explain Archimedes principle. Okay. These are the homework question. Write and keep ready. Okay, students, I hope you all understood.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
So
miss.
read the lesson and write all the answers.
Yes, miss.
I will ask you in the next class. Okay. Thank you very much.
welcome, Miss.